Okay. All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll open with a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Would you like to do a roll call for us, please?
Oh, okay. John Berry here. David Hayward here. Leanna Hahn. Did she say whether she was coming?
She is not able to make it
She's not able to make it tonight. No.
Okay. Phil Breed here. Rob Namowitz requested to excuse absence. Stephen Heyer.
I'm here.
Check file.
I'm here.
Matt Blau.
Here.
Sean Elke.
Here.
All right. So we have quorum.
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Reed. Tonight is Mr. File's first board meeting, and the township has to have a board meeting to officially appoint Mr. File to this board, which happens next week, I think.
Correct.
In terms of timing, and so Mr. File will be joining us, and he is joining us tonight as an advisory member. So legally, technically, he doesn't have a vote tonight, but we're glad to have you here. And I just thought we'd maybe go around and do a quick round of introductions. We'll start with Mr. Barry down there.
John Berry. I am part of the community.
Great.
He's a school representative.
David Hayward, I represent the township when I was appointed. My appointment was to be this year.
Very good. Mr. Reed.
Phil Breed, Independence Township, about 2 miles due south of Cook's Farm Dairy. I am one of the township residents appointed to the board.
And how long have you served?
That's a great question. Is this my third year? I think it is.
I think it's longer. It's longer than that.
I feel like it's longer than 3. I
Yeah.
feel like it's more like 4, but I can't recall.
And Mr. Barry, is this your second year?
I think, this is year 2.
Sounds
Okay.
right.
And then Mr. Hayward, you're in second year
Yes.
as well, right? You two are roughly the same time, I think. Very good. And did you want to say anything about yourself?
My name's Chuck Lyle. I'm the new township supervisor and I've been there for 5.5 hours. Excited to be here.
Congratulations.
45-year resident.
And I'm Steve Heyer, 24-year school board member, and I think it's been 6 years, 5 years?
Something like that.
Something like that on this board. So awesome. And you guys want to, Matt? You wanna-
Sure. Matt Blow. This is my 5th year of being the media teacher, but I used to be the station manager for Independence Township prior. So I was either recording the meeting, doing John's role, or doing this role for, I think this is my 11th or 12th year, involved in some capacity with ITV.
John Elke, station manager with Independence Township. I'm going into my 3rd year as station manager.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone, for that. We'll move into the business of our agenda. The first item is approval of the agenda. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you. All right. Any questions or discussion on that? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We have no carryover items. We get into regular business. F1 is the request to approve the minutes from the September 18th board meeting. Can I have a motion, please?
I move to approve the Video Center Administrative Board minutes from September 18, 2024, as presented.
Second.
Are there any questions or discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Item F2 is the request to approve the 2025 meeting dates. They are in the packet. Before we get to a motion on that, I wanted to see the third Wednesday is actually a school conflict for me, which is when our meetings have been. And I wonder if we could find a different Wednesday.
I know the first Wednesday of the month on the township side is usually zoning board of appeals, so that would be out. So we'd be looking probably at the 2nd or 4th if Wednesday is still an option. I haven't heard anything else if the 2nd or 4th doesn't work, but that's what we'd be looking at least. That's what I do know.
Any objection to the second Wednesday?
No.
What's that? Do you know when that is?
Other committees are. I don't have, I have all the lists, but I don't have the actual designated. I don't even know if they've set them. Do you know, Jen?
Not second? So it'd be the 4th is what we're looking at least from our standpoint, if we wanted to move it to the 4th Wednesday of the month, quarterly.
That would be fine. Is that good with everybody? I think so. So that would be February 26th, April 30th, September 24, and
November might be a little tricky with Thanksgiving.
yeah, let's go a different, let me see here.
It's changing the dates. So February 26th, April 30th, September 24th.
Yep.
November is,
I guess would we still be able to hold it on the 19th on that November, Steve, or are you booked on that one?
Yeah, it's probably a conflict, but that I'll make that work. So we can stick November 19th because
Keep
I'm
November
not,
19th?
I'm not going to be here that next week for sure.
Sure. So
Yeah, the 27th is Thanksgiving, I think. So I don't think we want to do it on the 26th.
Nah.
All right, so the new dates are February 26th, April 30th, September 24th, and November 19th. So can I have a motion to approve the meeting dates as amended, please?
I move to approve the proposed 2025 meeting dates for the Video Center Administrative Board as presented, as amended.
Perfect.
Second.
Any questions or discussion on the dates? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We have meeting dates. Please put them on your calendar.
I'll send out a reminder to everybody as well once we get confirmation from township side, just so we have that all. So look for that by the end of the year.
Perfect. Thank you. Item F3 tonight is our update on our budget. Mr. Elke.
Sure. So in front of you is the budget that we have as of November 5th of what we've spent and what we've gotten in. Just for a reminder for everyone, our budget cycle ends July. So we're just about nearing the second quarter or so, I'd say, of everything. But this is what we have at this point. I'm happy to answer any questions as far as the spending goes or anything like that.
Any questions?
Will say also that tomorrow I'm meeting with Mary Beth on the school side. We're going to be talking about our budget format and just kind of answering some general questions as far as how everything works on the school side for us to make sure that we're all on the same page and everything. Yes?
On the quarterly update, this is a pet peeve of mine, but
Yes.
When you use an acronym like PEG, I'd appreciate it if you could
Oh, sure,
say
yeah.
what it means, before, and then once you say what it means,
Sure.
then you could use PEG from then on. I had to look up, it stands for Public Education and Government Fee, which is from the cable operator.
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, I can do that from moving forward. That wouldn't be a problem.
One thing John and I had talked about briefly the other day was, I think a lot of these budget lines are inherited over from the township side. So, you know, with new leadership, there's been discussion in the past about simplifying some of the budget, so there's less budget lines. We kind of operate a weird space because it's now school money, but from a township kind of process. So, you know, if there is a way to simplify it that makes both township and school happy, why not? We don't necessarily need to, but if we could have budget lines, it sounds like it makes things easier for most of us.
And that mostly comes into play on the equipment costs, where we have a less than 5,000 and over 5,000 line item. And we routinely move money back and forth in amendments. It would be much cleaner if we had one equipment line and all our equipment came out of that. So that, I think, is the primary simplification that we could do on here. But obviously, since we're using EduStaff, we don't probably need all the retirement, disability, and
Sure.
insurances on here either, because those have been zeros now since we started using EduStaff. Any other questions on the budget?
I do have a question.
Yes.
The T1 fees.
Yes.
So are you still using the T1 lines?
We're still using the T1 lines. We're currently waiting for a vendor to come in to do the switch to our new Comcast lines. Comcast lines are operational, but we are still in that period of transitioning over to our new Comcast lines, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Any other questions?
Actually, I do have another question.
All right.
Yes.
Budget, where is what do you have budgeted for, what is the cost difference for the Comcast?
It's $1,000 a month, so it's going to be coming out of the telephone T1 lines. We budgeted a little extra this year, kind of anticipating a little bit of an overlap where we would have this transition period. So we should be okay moving forward. I don't anticipate needing to do a budget amendment to cover those costs for the transition.
So there means that you guys are doing it over cable, not fiber?
No, we are doing it over fiber.
Fiber, okay.
Yep.
Yep, very good. All right, thanks for that budget update. Item F4 is the highlight of our meeting, which is our quarterly production update. Mr. Elke, whenever you're ready, start the music. I think we need a walk-up song for this part of the meeting for you.
That'd be good.
Right?
Thank you very much, Board, for, as I always say, allowing me to update you guys on what we're doing from month to month from a quarterly standpoint. I always like to highlight all the different things that our staff does and just keep you guys informed about what we're doing as a staff, kind of the in-between times of our meetings. So I always look forward to this to highlight all the stuff that guys get to do and the stuff that you may not have seen. So thanks again for this opportunity. I'm going to start with our serving the community. As discussed earlier in the budget discussion, right now we are working with Keycode Media to transition over our Comcast lines to broadcast out to AT&T. We're also working with them to kind of revamp our back room. At this time, we've got a lot of older equipment that's been, used for a number of years as far as how we've been taking out or broadcasting out our feed that has become obsolete, especially with the newer equipment that we've been getting in as of late. So we're actually looking to work with Keycode that we can take out a lot of the equipment that we have and just kind of free up a lot of space in that back room and just get rid of some of the unnecessary equipment. I will say on Halloween we had Night of the Living Dead play at 10 p.m. promoted on socials for appointment viewing on cable. We're also doing this Christmas a 24-hour marathon of Santa Conquers the Martians. I know TBS has their 24-hour marathon of A Christmas Story, so we're going to do on cable 24 hours of Santa Conquers the Martians, a public domain movie that we're going to promote and just kind of have some fun with. So we're trying to find different fun little appointment viewings for our strict cable viewers. You can watch this stuff on our streams as well, but just wanted to kind of, with Halloween and with Christmas, try and have some fun with some of those public domain movies that we can serve the community with. So moving on to our live section, we finished our fall season of broadcasting out. We had 4 football games, 3 homecoming events. We did have our replay machine reach its end of life during one of our games, so we're looking at replacements at this time. When we had a tech kind of come in briefly, he didn't even have to look at it. He said, "Yeah, it's probably a graphics card. I don't think there's replacements for that. You might have to look into new equipment." So if that's something that we're potentially looking at replacing down the road, it was a piece of equipment that was sparsely used during games. I'll let Matt kind of touch on that, but it was used, and it was a nice piece of equipment for students to kind of learn on. So that was one piece that we had to kind of say goodbye to this year, but not the worst thing, I'd say, of everything from our live productions. Looking at our online in September, we saw an increase of page views and visits, first-time visitors and returning visitors on our website at independence-television.com. over 500 views of our 708 were first-time visitors. So, but we did see a decrease in metrics in September to October. So it's fluctuating, but it's kind of good to see that we have people going to our website to find the information that we have there. So I will also note that we are in the process of redesigning our website, independencetelevision.com. Hannah Gray, our social media specialist, has just started this project this week, so I'm hopeful that we can have another relaunch or a redesign by January, I'd say. But she's working on this. She's a part-time employee, so it's a part-time basis at this time. But we just wanted to give it a freshen up, kind of revamp our website a little bit and make it a little pretty. So moving on to PEG fee discussion. This is something that is hard to kind of bring up. We talk about this every year when it's budget time, but it's worth bringing up again at this point. So at this time, after talking with Rick Yeager, our budget analyst over the township, he's projecting that we're going to be losing about $42,000 in PEG fees this year, in PEG, public education government, which we're roughly going to be totaling about $147,129 for 2024. In comparison, we were at $187 for 2023 and $194 in 2022. So this is a large decrease that we're seeing this year in comparison to years past, where it's been a couple $1,000s here or there. We can kind of survive with that. So we have had some discussions as far as what we need to do. I'll kind of get into that next. But our fund balance at the township has been decreasing each year to cover the missing costs of the $200,000 we owe for the lease agreement. As you can kind of see down here, our township fund balance in 2024 started at $396, projected out in 2027 at $173, and that's if everything continues as is at this time. And these are all estimates, so I want to say that, but they are educated estimates. So what are we doing? So Steve and myself met with the township to talk about amending the lease agreement to change the language from $200,000 annually to 100% of PEG fees collected by the township. What this would do is it would stop the need to dip into our fund balance on the township side to cover the loss of our PEG fees. Now what that does in turn is it puts more importance on Independence Television side of budgeting accurately with the projections that we are given from the township. So we'd have to change how we budget a little bit, because we wouldn't have the guaranteed 218 coming in each year. It would simply be whatever the PEG fees are, and we wouldn't know that until the end of the year. So it's going to be a little tricky as far as how we budget and how we spend, but not impossible. I'm also working with Lauren over at the township, the public information officer. We're discussing additional funding options. We're actually sitting in on our first grant meeting on Friday to see if we qualify for one. We've looked over a few different ones as well to kind of gauge interest to see if we would, fit for any of those. But we're actually sitting in together one on Friday to see, if we qualify and how we go about this process. So she's reached out to me and said that she can help us with this process of looking for grants and applying for them. So I'm going to be utilizing her expertise and learning all I can as far as how grants go to see what additional revenue that we can bring in aside from our traditional PEG fees. So I just wanted to bring this to the board's attention because these are discussions that we have been having the last few months. I didn't want this to come as surprise or anything like that when we do get to our budget time in April. Especially if things are decided from now until February when our next meeting is. So just wanted to put this on your plate as something that we are doing, we are aware of, and we are looking for solutions at this time as far as what we can do to move forward. Obviously, if you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me in between meetings. It doesn't always have to be a quarterly conversation, but it's something that we're on top of at this time. So. With that said, I'll move on to our production. Actually, I'll pause right now. Does anybody have any questions as far as this goes at this time?
I don't have anything to ask, but I want to just kind of point out, I've also been in talks with the current technical education department about how the school might be able to help offset some costs as well. ITV does have a healthy fund balance, so I don't think there's that big concern on the school side to do it right away, but I have kind of queued up that conversation that, hey, there will come a day when ITV's budget doesn't go as far as it did, and we still have these other expenses, so how do we stay compliant with class stuff while still keeping ITV running as well as it has? So, yeah.
We are also paying attention heavily and working heavily with the state levels as far as what legislation is out there and available for us from a funding standpoint. So we are kind of trying to be as plugged in as we can in as many avenues as we can to find any solution possible. So I will say that this is not an Independence Township problem. This is a statewide problem. We are just part of this. So that's why we have so many people working with us to kind of find the next solution or the next step in community media. So happy to, like I said, if you guys ever have any questions or any possible solutions, my door is always open, phone call is always available. I'd be happy to talk to you with it further. So, but like I said, with that, I'm going to transition into a lighter side of things and kind of highlight some of the productions that we have done from the public, the education, and the government standpoint. I'm going to start with the public, and for this quarterly update, this is just covering our production from our last meeting in September to November. So typically this one, I would say, is our lighter end just because of the time duration, but actually October was an extremely busy month for us from a production standpoint. We were able to cover and produce a seminar at the library titled, Understanding Clarkston's Historic District. This was on the November ballot, so it was kind of a great information piece for us to put out there for people to understand what was going to be on their ballot in regards to this issue. We also had 2 episodes of Michigan Moment, and at the time I wrote this, they were each over 300 views, but that's not the case anymore. The last one's reaching upwards over to 1,000 views, which has been phenomenal to see. These are all natural views. They're not paid promotions or anything like that. So as I've said many times, production coordinator Matt Legato, who puts these together each month, always does an incredible job of finding unique, fun, interesting tidbits about Michigan. He does a great job of crafting it together to make it visually interesting, and he's done a nice job on his own of researching different YouTube quirks, I guess you could say, as far as how to gain more audience eyes on his particular videos when he puts these out. So he's been kind of, like I said, doing a little self-research as far as like what keywords to put in there, how to properly title something, descriptions, and everything like that. And I'm really happy for him that it's paying off in my opinion. Our YouTube views on Independence Television have been going up, and it's because he's been doing a good job of researching that and making sure that the most eyes get on our production. So he also started up a video that he's working on for the last couple weeks, and will finish up into the year with Scamp, a nonprofit that we work with frequently. But they're celebrating 50 years next year, so we're putting together kind of a nice, long video highlighting their 50 years as an organization in the community, but also what they do as far as all the different programs and everything. So we had multiple interviews come into the studio that he's putting together, and this past summer we were out at different events to kind of include the video, so look forward to that coming in January. So some other events that we did, we had the Monarch Butterfly Festival. You can kind of see some here. Ribbon cuttings, Clarkston Family Farms, always a good one. The library, Connecting Clarkston, we had 3 episodes recorded. Our 4th one was recorded this week and should be coming out next week sometime. So great to kind of see that podcast still continue to grow as it did as a public show. We've actually had other community members that have seen that podcast reach out to us and see that it was filmed in our studios and have asked about starting up their own podcast in our studios. So nice to kind of see the work we're putting in from the public standpoint. Like I said, it was a lot more than years past that I've been here that we've done, so happy to kind of see that grow over this past time. I'll touch on education a little bit here, and then I'll pass it over to Matt. But Matt and Kelly completed the non-Homestead millage PSA in preparation for the November election. I know he's starting up another video as well. I'll let him kind of talk about that. But just I wanted to touch on the week of homecoming. We had 4 events that week. Powder Puff football. We did a movie night on the baseball field, which was it turned out really nice. We concluded our football coverage. We're going to be starting up our winter sports coverage in December. And there was a lot of stuff that we've been doing from the school. We got a little bit of break in November, but I'll hand it over to Matt to kind of touch base on any other items from the school side.
Yeah, we had football season's wrapped up because we don't really do the playoffs, but we're going to hit the ground running with basketball when we come back in December. We also have the Holiday Lights Parade coming up as well. We did the non-homestead video. We're doing some videos right now about kind of critical information on threats that, students sometimes make in a joking way, and then gets all this problems happen, so we're working on a video series of that. We just kind of did an intro video this week, but we'll have more to come for that. And then I believe Clarkston Schools won a communicator award at the last school board meeting. And while there was a multitude of things, one of the parts that was included was a video that myself and the ITV guys helped make. So we got to help out on that too, which was pretty nice. Aside from that, students are working on their projects. They're doing their second to last project, hopefully getting that finished up pretty soon. And they got their big final project at the end. And then, the other classes will be ramping back up for events when we return from our Thanksgiving break. Yeah.
All right, and from the government side, we were very, very busy in October. We had a number of videos for the Township publish, our latest episode of the Township, published in October. It was on the building department. We also had 2 tour videos with the fire station and DPW. We had a PSA go out with the clerk's department. We also were able to film the oath of office that was going on just this past week. And it's a number of other parks events that we've been able to cover as well. Over at the Senior Center, we got to do their Veterans Day lunch and had that out for Veterans Day on Monday. So we've had a number of videos, and they've kind of spanned as far as across different types as well. The tour videos were kind of more straight up follow around. The Township video, which we love kind of putting together, is more in-depth, multiple interviews. The event coverage videos are more quick turnarounds. We get those done, within a day for promotional use. So we also did one over at the Senior Center where we recorded one of their programs called Don't Be Scammed and kind of put that out for the public to utilize and everything like that. And I will point out just one thing down here. You guys might remember Hunter, who was a former production assistant of ours. He's off in Lansing right now, big time in us, working for Channel 7. But he actually saw our PSA on early voting, and he's still registered to vote in Independence Township. So he drove from Lansing to Independence Township to vote at Baycore Park, and he had no idea it was available, but he saw the PSA and decided to do it. So more power to him. But just a lot of, like I said, a lot of different videos that we've got to put together in the last couple months from the Township side. And it's been kind of fun to see how they've each taken off. So I'll move over into social media. We started posting, I don't know if you guys have seen or noticed on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, but we've been trying to promote our football games by taking out smaller snippets of the video and using them as promotion with the link to the video afterwards. So we've actually found that they've been doing quite well on social media by themselves, which is great. I didn't really see an increase in views as far as the full video of the link that's included in that post, but it's bringing more attention to the production, and what we really wanted to highlight was the student production behind the football games, and I think we were able to kind of do that with some of the different posts that we were doing. As you can kind of see from Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, content interaction was up 26% since September. Reach and content each increased by 100% in September on Instagram. Take that with a grain of salt, as depending on what we post on Instagram, it might vary from month to month. But always good to see that, even if we do have small, Instagram's a little different. With our long form videos, they don't do as well on Instagram. You want more short form videos there. So it's kind of nice to kind of see some of that stuff still have an audience on that platform. And then on YouTube's page, as I kind of touched on already, we had 17 subscribers gained since September 19th. The Shiawassee River Project video that Matt Legato did, and we partnered with Springfield Township and Oakland County Parks, has gained over 1,000 views and is still getting traction on social media at this time. Still getting comments, still getting likes, shares, and all that stuff. So kind of neat to see a video that he put a lot of effort in from the staff side that had great importance to Springfield Township and Oakland County, still gain kind of a lot of audience and still has a living audience in that side. So I will note as well from the social media standpoint, myself and Lauren Reinke from the township are going to be attending the Government Social Media Conference in May next year in Orlando, and I found out yesterday that I'll actually be a speaker at this conference. So I'll be talking about video production and how to utilize that in social media platforms and walking through digital single lens reflecting cameras and the different unique tidbits you can pick up. So that'll be kind of fun and unique from us. Hope to bring back a lot of stuff. I was fortunate enough to go on the township's behalf last year. Found it a very beneficial conference, and looking forward to going again and actually getting to be a presenter. So social media, it's still doing good, at least on our end. So what's up next for us? You can kind of see November 26th. We've got our Parks and Rec turkey shoot video that we do. That's an event that's on a Tuesday, and we typically have this video ready by Wednesday, just because it's a Thanksgiving themed video and it doesn't have much life after that week. So we really want to get that published as quickly as we can. We'll also have Christmas on the Farm at the Clarkston Family Farm. This is a video we've done in the past few years, always kind of a nice season video. And then our live Holiday Lights Parade, December 14th. We've already had one staff meeting, pseudo staff meeting about it. So we are kind of getting ourselves prepped and ready for that really fun parade that we always have a great time at. Lastly, and what's up next? This is kind of cool. So we're partnering with Miami Valley Communication Council in Ohio. They reached out to us to participate in a Santa call-in show on December 15th that'll be seen on TV. It's a live event where this video is going to be produced in Ohio, but we're going to be carrying the feed, and kids from Independence Township, Clarkston, whoever watches our station can call in and talk to Santa on TV. So this is something that they've been doing for a very long time, and they partner with different cable stations that operate. We operate with Cablecast. That's our cable, hardware. So I'm assuming they found us through that as one of the partners through this particular brand of equipment that we use, and asked if we participate. So I said yes, 100%. We're going to be promoting the event. We put our first promotion out this past week. All we have to do is kind of carry the stream on our cable channels and our streams, and everything else is on their end. So it seemed like a no-brainer for us to kind of participate in this program, but also give our viewers and everything like that something kind of fun for the holidays. So as we said, we're trying a lot of different fun things with the cable and holidays to make more appointment viewing and just have a little more fun with it. And this is another event that we're trying something a little new this year to see how it goes. So with that, I've got one more thing after this, but does anybody have any questions at this point as far as our production quarterly update presentation? For this event, no, we won't be planning on any advertising or spending any advertising on this event. We will be advertising through social media's channels, cable, and stuff like that. But our advertising funds that we're using are right now being used for underwriting, seeking underwriters. So we kind of want to keep our ad spending at that, at least at this time, for that avenue. Oh yeah, we have a Clarkston News ad. We'll probably kind of like swap it out like as we get a little closer. I think that would be a great idea. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I've got one more thing for you guys. So lastly, aside from the quarterly update, we have recently updated our Independence Television promotional video that will be used on YouTube, and just kind of a elevator pitch as far as who we are. We've been trying to do update these for our stations the last few years. We did the Township's promotional video this past year with the launch of the new logo, so it was time to give ITV a little spruce up as well. We're working on the school's promotional video too, but this is what we have as far as our new promotional video. So
share what we do with our wider community.
It adds an element of transparency and access for everyone in our community.
What a gem this community resource is. We didn't know what we were doing. We still don't really. But the people at Independence Television definitely do.
It's one of
Thank you for your time.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Mr. Elke. Next item on our agenda is G, public comment. Do we have any citizens in the audience tonight who would like to address the board? Seeing none, item H is board member comments. Do we have any additional comments from any board members? Seeing none, item I is adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn, please?
Move we adjourn.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, everybody.
Welcome,
you.
Chuck. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You're chairing the next one.